Hello everyone, my name is Beansprout, and by now if you're a fan of indie FPS games, then you've no doubt heard of the studio New Blood Games, the company that published some of the greatest indie boomer shooters that many of us have ever played. New Blood has a great lineup of games, including Ultrakill, Dusk, and Medieval, and that's just to name a few. But in today's video we're going to be taking two of New Blood's most well-known games and putting them against each other to find out which of the two games is better. And you already know which two games I'm referring to, and that is David Zemansky's Dusk, released in 2018, and RC Hakita Patala's Ultrakill from 2020. Beansprout, why are you comparing these games? Might be a thought that you have in your mind right now. Well, both these games have had a fair amount of attention and coverage here on YouTube, and they are probably what I would say are New Blood's two biggest games. But this is a topic that I haven't really ever seen being talked about on YouTube, so I thought that it would make for a really good versus video. The way this is going to work is that I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on each of the main points in the video. I will try and be, for the most part, objective, however there will be some parts of the video where I'll talk more about my own opinions on certain things. Of course, just like any other videos on this channel, feel free to give me your thoughts on things. Now, you may be wondering why I decided to talk about the music as our first point of comparison, but wonder no more because I have the answers for you. Well, to be fair, I don't know who else would have the answers because I'm writing the video. But yeah, anyway, here's why. Both games have absolutely phenomenal soundtracks, with the soundtrack from Dusk being composed by Andrew Hulshult, who has worked on games such as Quake Champions and the DLC campaigns for Doom Eternal. While Ultrakill's music was made by the developer himself, Hakita. However, some tracks such as the Cyber Grind have been made by others like Meganako. So, I'm not going to lie to you here, but this first segment, it really can't be viewed objectively in my opinion, because your taste in music is largely a very subjective thing. The only reason I'm bringing music up in this video is because music can play a huge role in how much a person can enjoy a game. And for me personally, in terms of the atmosphere that is created by the music, I feel like Dusk does a much better job in that department. The game often has a sense that something is wrong, and the music fits the tone and theme that Dusk is trying to go for. Whereas in Ultrakill I feel like a lot of the time the music doesn't really create an interesting atmosphere as much as it gets you pumped up to fight enemies, or give you a break from all the violence. But don't forget that Dusk is not a particularly slow game. It too has its fast and intense moments where you're fighting lots of enemies with Andrew Hulshult's incredible riffs blaring in the background. Like I said, this one is a lot more based on personal taste in music, and for me personally, both of these games fit right into my calm and sophisticated music taste. But seeing as I have to make a decision here, I personally like the music of Dusk a lot more. It has a kind of heavier feel to it, I guess, and I do really like the almost melodic sound it often has. But now, it's time to move on. So, we've talked about the music that you'll be shredding through enemies to, but we haven't yet talked about the weapons that you'll be using to do said shredding. Both games have fairly decent arsenals due to carrying large amounts of weapons being a staple of the boomer shooter genre. In Ultrakill, the weapons you encounter on your journey to consume as much fuel as possible will include the revolver, a shotgun, nail gun, rail cannon, rocket launcher, your arm, and the alternate revolver, which while not being one of the largest weapon arsenals I've seen in this type of game, it is still a very good one in my opinion. But for Dusk, you'll be using the following assortment of deadly weapons: your trusty sickles, sword, pistols, shotguns, super shotgun, assault rifle, hunting rifle, crossbow, mortar, riveter, anything that you can pick up and throw, and finally the strongest of all, a bar of soap. And I'm not joking, that is actually the strongest thing in the game. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can one-shot bosses with it. Now, you may have noticed that Dusk has a much larger arsenal than Ultrakill, just due to the sheer amount of things that you can pick up. But that really isn't a big deal, because Ultrakill compensates for that by having a fair selection of alternate fire modes, similar to what can be seen in games such as Doom Eternal, which is a feature that Dusk does not have. And those different modes would include... Nah, I'm only joking. I'm not going to list them all off for you, as you're probably tired of the lists by now, but I will explain what makes them such a cool feature. Most of your weapons have 2 or 3 alternate fire modes to pick between, and they all have their own special benefits that come along with them. It allows the player to develop more of their own playstyle, and depending on who's playing the game can look drastically different. One of the best parts of this is that you can have all of them equipped at the same time, and you can cycle through them as you play, which can give you a lot more options as to how you tackle encounters with enemies. The weapons of Dusk are a lot less in depth, however. Dusk is a lot more akin to a 90s boomer shooter than Ultrakill is, in the way that you can kind of main one weapon for majority of the campaign, and only switch to other weapons in specific situations. Which is by no means a bad thing, because the game is still fun to play either way, but the variety in playstyles you can have in Ultrakill really does put Ultrakill above Dusk in this department, even if Dusk has a larger variety of weapons. Oh, and you also can't punch the shotgun pellets in Dusk, and you can in Ultrakill, so that's an extra point for Ultrakill, I guess. The movement in this type of game is a pretty important factor in my opinion. Pretty much every game related to the genre has somewhat fast movement, and that is a box that both Ultrakill and Dusk have ticked. The movement of Dusk is the more basic of the two, as players commonly see in circle strafing and dodging enemy projectiles, sliding around on the floor, jumping in the air or on jump pads to do flips, and best of all, bunny hopping, which is done by holding forward and jumping while moving side to side at the same time. I'm pretty sure the reason that this works is because when you move diagonally in a game like this, you oftentimes move faster, and this is one of Dusk's best features. Ultrakill's movement is more modern. It still has dodging, sliding, and jump pads, but it also includes a lot more other methods of traversal too. Examples of these would be wall bouncing, dashing, slamming down onto the floor, and even a grappling hook. Dusk has a much more simple style of movement, but that doesn't mean it's worse than Ultrakill. Ultrakill is a lot faster than Dusk, and its movement fits the style that it's going for, while Dusk is a slower game than Ultrakill. Again, Dusk is not a slow game, but it just isn't as crazy and hectic as Ultrakill. Honestly, on this one I really can't decide. For a certain type of person, Ultrakill is a much better movement, but for another type of person you may find that Dusk has a far better style of traversal. So I think I'm going to leave it at this and move on to the next segment. In this department, I'd probably say that Ultrakill has a much higher variety in the amount of enemies that it gives to the player to kill. Editing Beansprout here, no, Dusk actually has more enemies than Ultrakill does. I did some further research during this editing process and found out that I was wrong. Anyway, let's continue with the video. Ultrakill has an extremely large enemy sandbox and gives them a great amount of variety to its combat, as most enemies behave fairly differently to each other. Dusk has a smaller amount of enemies to my knowledge, but that doesn't stop them from being great. Every enemy is unique and creative. The enemies of Dusk can vary from these fireball lobbing hooded figures to a living scarecrow with a double-barreled shotgun. Ultrakill's enemies on the other hand are a lot more futuristic feeling for the most part, and can oftentimes be robots that have flesh melded onto them or something. I can't really make it out because of the game's visual style. I personally think that Ultrakill does a much better job with the enemies department due to the sheer size of its roster, and the fact that so many of Ultrakill's enemies are meant for set purposes. But we need to talk about the boss fights. Ultrakill wins. Alright, but seriously, I think that Dusk does a great job in creating interesting and creative bosses such as the Intoxicator, Big John, and Jacob, just to name a few. But Ultrakill's bosses feel a lot better to fight for some reason, and they often have more detailed attacks and AI than the boss fights in Dusk. So this one goes to Ultrakill. In terms of replay value, I think both games are pretty much on equal footing here. They both have secrets, they both have hidden areas to find and explore, and they both have horde modes. It really just depends on which one you enjoy replaying more, I think. I feel it's kind of hard to go into much detail with this segment specifically because of that. However, you could look at it in the way that Ultrakill has the ranking system as well, which Dusk does not have. So in a way, I guess Ultrakill is more replayable. In fact, actually, yeah, it is more replayable because of that. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that there and continue. Now, we're going to be talking about my personal pick out of the two. Just for reference, at the time of me writing this video, I have 44.8 hours played on Ultrakill, and 31.8 hours played on Dusk. Now, in the comparison I've given in this video, Ultrakill definitely wins this one, but for me personally, I find that Dusk is a lot more enjoyable. I know that I have more hours on Ultrakill, but that's simply because I've made more videos on it, due to it giving me more reasons to make videos on it, as Dusk doesn't really see many updates. But the simplicity that Dusk oftentimes has to its campaign is really what makes it better for me, and Dusk feels like it's got a lot more of a clear progression as you go through its campaign. There is obviously a clear progression as you play through Ultrakill, but I don't know, there's just something about it that just feels a bit off. But which of the two games do you prefer? Let me know in the comment section. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and you enjoy this type of content. If you want to check out any more content from me, then it's appearing on the screen now, and I also do recommend joining my Discord server too. But apart from that, thank you all so very much for watching, and as always, have a nice day.